Hi, my name's Cheri. Welcome to my stamp studio. I wanted to let you know that the holiday catalog is now live. So if you need a copy, then let me know. You can go to my website and you can view it all there too. But if you're like me, it's nice to have one to look at and to cross things off of and go through all that. I do have a video if you've missed any of the catalog kickoff week activities. I did put a YouTube walkthrough on how to use the new online ordering system. So that's up. Then my daughter and I did a live. So I want to let you see some of the cards that we did. She took hers and one of her autumn ones was stunning. So you want to make sure you see that. But I've got this one and it won't have any other video. I did the muffin and cupcake carriers. Those I did do a separate video, so you can go watch that because in the live I didn't color it. And then you may have caught this video earlier in the week where I was doing the series of 4 seasonal trees. So in the live I did the spring and the winter. So those are added and those are in the live, and those won't get another separate video. So if you're one of those people that doesn't like all the chit chat because you're not watching it live, that's fine. I understand it. Just take your little mouse and drag it to where you need to go to watch the projects that you want to see. Then I want my specials this month are a certain level purchase, you get the iridescent pearls free. And then a larger purchase, you get both the pearls. I stuck my fingers in it, and this fun ribbon. So, and both of these have been featured on projects I've used recently, and they will be more upcoming. And then for catalog kickoff week, if you purchase $100 and it ends the 8th, August 8th, then as well as the pearls and the ribbon, depending on how much you spend, then you get the, a personalized bone folder. So it'll come with you already with your little hole drilled in it and a little charm. Those of you ordering under $100 during catalog kickoff week, I'm giving everybody the little charm. So then you can do something. You can either drill your own hole, you can order a bone folder from me and I can add it if you have one of these and you get it later. But those are my specials. Make sure you go to my website and check out the classes that I have signups for right now with this catalog. In the Pines bundle, it's a class, and when you pay for the class, you get the stamps and the dies and then the materials to make your cards. And then there is a Gilded Autumn class, and it is free if you purchase the suite from me, or if you already have it, pieces of it, if you're a demonstrator, if you order from somebody else, then you can just sign up to take the class. And I may have, I've started work on my holiday try-it class. When everything gets here and I have time to kind of divide it up, I may have 1 or 2 extra spots that open up, but we'll have to wait and see. I've had some people ask, and I told y'all that I had to know before I ordered stuff. So we'll see. I looked this morning and nothing so far is on back order, so that helps. So the card I have for you today, we're going to use a whole lot of little bits of everything because it's one of the cards I like to show you that you can do from stuff that's just laying on your table or stuff you have laying around. So I'm going to use lots of little pieces, some new pieces, obviously some old pieces, and a lot of it you could substitute for what you have. If you don't have the punch or the paper that I'm using, then substitute something else. But we are going to use this little house die, and it is out of the Coming Home, I think, suite in the catalog. It's a Christmas suite, but this is going to be the focal point of our card. And then I pulled out Waterfront because I needed a super tiny little word. So, you know, you go over to your stack of stamps and you're like, what's the tiniest word I can find? So the Waterfront, which is a lovely stamp. You can tell mine's old because it's green. I remember when the black cases first came out, we're like, oh, those are black. And now when you see these, you're like, oh, those are green. Just kind of like counterfeit. So I have a bunch of paper here. So let's go with Whisper White for our background. And you can see I literally have a bunch of trash over here. And a lot of it's from our live yesterday because when we're done, it was a giant mess. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp the inside just because, you know, sometimes words, here's a little tip for you. If you stamp the inside first and you mess it up, then you can flip this puppy around and it can be the front and it's going to get covered up. So this says, every little kindness makes the world brighter. Waterfront's a fabulous set. All of those sets that make the scenes are so fun. So we're good on that. So now I know that I can go ahead. I hate if you make your whole card and then you go to stamp your words on the inside and you smudge them. There's not really anything worse in the world than that. And then I have, this is a piece from my little muffin carrier that I just made a video of. So it's shimmer white, and it's just, I'm using it because it's laying here. And here's my tiny little word, thanks. So just stamp that on there. When you're stamping tiny things, make sure you don't press hard or rock around because you want that to stay tiny and perfect. And I want to make sure it fits on there because I want that little word to come out of my heart. So that's all the stamping for this that we need to do. We're just using waterfront for the words. So let's roll this through. This was the autumn card that my daughter did live. I actually pulled this out of the trash. It's a little bent right here, but it's gonna be okay. Some of the cardstocks, the coppers, the foils, the shimmers, they cost just a little bit more, and so it's nice to get every last little bit out of it. And the other last little bit I'm getting is, I think this may be the last video that I ever record with this machine. It has been faithful ever since Stampin' Up! Came out with an embossing machine, a die cut machine. It's literally, I don't know if it's been 15 years. It's been a lot of years, maybe even more, maybe 18 years. I should look it up. But my new one comes tomorrow. So this one's adios. And it's held up really well. If you have these and your husband's handy at all or you're handy at all, then you can take it apart and clean it out. That's part of the reason it's lasted so long. So I'm just going to take my little thanks here now. I'm just running the same house through twice. So that time I got the whole thing. This time I just need that little heart. I do want to make sure it's center on there. I'm really looking forward to, we weren't able to order the accessories yet. But I am looking forward to when I get the magnetic plate for the new one. I haven't used a magnetic plate for years because I was not a fan of the one that went with this machine. Or the precision plate. None of those plates worked for me. And then you could say, I could say this to get one more heart, but I'm gonna clean up after this. So this stuff's finally trash. So there's the die cut that we're gonna do. And this set is worth it. It's a fun set. And I've done the one Christmas card with it, but that's just perfect. Then this paper was laying here from a project that I did. It's been a minute. So I have a little thing of scrap paper I keep here. I have the heart punch that we have. This is not the largest because the larger one has a scallop around it. And I didn't really want the scallop on this card. So just kind of put it in here as far up as it will go. Punch your heart out. And then I have the Sprig Punch, which is old. So a lot of you probably already have it. And this, you can tell I used in my class for boho. I have the boho indigo class. And it's an ongoing class. It goes it lasts all, you can sign up for it all year. But the first two projects for it are up. So I'm gonna get 2 of the sprigs, and this is out of Garden Green because it was boho indigo class stuff out. And then I've had people ask about the size of this. What's something laying here that you'll have? About how big the acorns and the leaves are. These are new, and these are in the autumn. The Gilded Autumn, which is one of the classes I just showed you, so you can get the whole suite. But they're not small punches and they're not large punches, because you know when we have the tiny baby punches, they're small. These are more like our little medium flower punches in that size. So I'm just going to use. Here's a tip for you. I have a bunch of quarter sheets of cardstock, and I just go ahead and pre-cut them that way as I'm creating. I have a little letter sorter thing from Home Goods, and I just keep quarter sheets and half sheets of cardstock, so I don't always have to be getting up. So these I'm able to stick in here, oops, and punch that. But then later, if I want to use this as a layer on a card, I'm just going to cover it up. So it's a perfect place to get my little pieces out. And as long as you have these quarter sheets here, then you can keep using them. So this is not trash. It's going to go back into my little sorter. So this card doesn't take very long at all. Let's put this on here. I love this faded wood print, and it is out of the giant texture pack that we have. It's one of those really great designer series papers. Every kind of Home Depot, Lowe's kind of texture that you want in there, you're gonna find it. So now we've got this. So I'm gonna set this aside, and I'm gonna put all my things in here first. So I'm just gonna put some seal right here along the edges. Oh, I hate when I do this on video. It's just the wrong angle. I have no problem at all when I'm just using it for me. So then that's stuck in there. So let's just add a sprig here and just make sure it's stuck in the seal. And then one here. And then get a little bit of seal on the back of my leaf. And remember, I'm gonna put that heart back in there, so I don't want this to be in there. I want it to be just so it's gonna look like it's sticking out of there. And then this is the basket weave ribbon, and it is also from the Gilded Autumn. So if you get that suite, you get the ribbon as well. It was on the maybe we'll run out of this before we get the next shipment in list, but I didn't see that it was on back order yet, but it could go. So I'm just gonna take this and do enough that I have a loop. And stick this in here. I don't want it to cover up my leaf. So we'll kind of go up here with it. And if you need to add any more adhesive to make everything stick, you can. But now I'm going to take my dimensionals. And this first one, I'm going to make sure I sandwich all that stuff in there. And I'm just going to add enough around that this doesn't fall, because this is paper. They need a couple more dimensionals than cardstock do, because if this gets smushed, it's going to stay smushed. Take these backs off. Oh, no, it came off, yeah. And then we're just going to pop this back on here. You could do a double layer like I did on my muffin thing. I mean on the trees. Oh, maybe I did, yeah, on the trees. I knew I did it on something recently if you want it to be a little bit more popped up, but I think it's enough because we're going to add a little bit of fun to it. I'm going to set this out of the way so it doesn't get dirty. I'm going to take my garden green stamp pad and just open it up so I can use the lid. And then this is one of our water painters. Any of the sizes will work for this. So squeeze a bunch of water out, not a bunch, but enough that you have wet. And then you're going to take your bone folder, which I know I just had it because I showed it to you. I'll get a different one. And then just hit this. And you can see then it's giving a nice little bit of, I was kind of going for the moss out on the trees look with this. So it just adds a little bit more texture. And then I'm going to grab some of this and just kind of hold this up around. Because you could rub ink on the sides of this, but again, I was going for more of a natural feel. And you know when your terracotta pots sit out too long, or there's a piece of wood and it sits in the rain, how it gets that little bit of just the greenery. And this is going to also help highlight the heart just a little bit. That's why the one dimensional was really enough. I'm just going to put it on here. And you're going for organic, so don't worry about perfection. And it's also going to dry a little bit lighter, so I'll get a little bit more here and be a little bit more careful because this is darker. And just kind of give this the tiny bit of dimension. Now it'll pop more off the card without being obviously, oh look, that's popping off the card, because I didn't want that. I'm going to get a little bit more of this. Just flick some of those flicks on there. And then you can see it as it dries, those are going to get a little bit lighter, so you can go a tad bit heavy with them. So there's that part. Now let's get our Stampin' seal. And I'm going to put some on here, and I'm going to let that pull across. You can see where the seal has pulled across. And then you also need a dimensional. How am I losing everything? Literally just had those two. Here they are. I'm going to take a dimensional and stick one there and one here. But I wanted that little bit of adhesive right in the middle, because you can see the dimensionals to hold the house on well don't really hit that heart. So add my house there. And then the one I stamped on. Now with that little bit of dimensional and that little bit of adhesive in the middle, when you pop that back in there, and it holds. So I have some more things that were laying on my table because all of my little embellishments are still here from when I did the annual catalog try it class. And here was a full packet of the elegant faceted gems. These are beautiful. And they're, like at first look, you might think they're a little bit too fancy for this card, but they're not. And then they have a star. And these are in the annual catalog. If you wanted to color them, you could. It's what I used on my Christmas tree when I had a red star. And so many people have asked me where I got the red star. I'm like, it's the copper star. I just colored it with a blend. So let's add this star here. And then go over to these. So there are clear, and then there's this fun peachy pink wood color, and then white. So let's just get some of all of them. I'm gonna take one of the big white ones. There's two different sizes of all three of them. I'm gonna put this one here. And then let's get a big of the, I think it's petal pink. And let's put it maybe right there. And then I'll just get one of the little clear ones. And put it there. So how easy and how simple is that? And it's so pretty. It's so it's understated. And the little house, I think right now, because who has friends? Well, I have some friends that I've continued to see almost the whole entire time. Because, you know, you just can't live without your girlfriends. And I've seen my sisters and my brother, but my sisters a lot during this quarantine, and my parents. But then I do have a couple of friends that I would normally have seen a whole bunch of times and done a whole bunch of fun summer things with that I haven't seen since quarantine. So for those kind of people that you are missing right now, then you can send this. There is the stamp that says friend, I think would also fit in the inside of this. And then if you go look at your stamps, this was just one of the first ones I pulled out because I just wanted something tiny, but you're more than likely to find something. You could also just put a plain heart back in there. I thought about putting a plain heart and then putting the jewels on the heart. That was my original intent. And then as I was doing it, I thought, oh, I wonder if I have any words. So there you go. Super easy card. You can see I added the copper one back on the inside because who wants to lose that? And it's all from Bits and Bobs and a really fun Christmas set. So a lot of new things that you can get and a lot of things that you may already have and that you can kind of mix around. All of us, if you have anything at all, you're going to have some kind of little sprig in your dies or in your punch. So many of the celebration dies come with a great little set of sprigs that you can use. The autumn set that my daughter used yesterday, I don't know where her trash went, but those wheat sprigs would work well too. And you could do different color combinations. You don't have to go with the natural. I was just kind of going for something easy because we've had a couple of big stamping days. Yesterday was a killer of a stamping day. We did a lot. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you have any questions about the online ordering, if you need a catalog, if you want to sign up for my class, anything, you can contact me. See ya. Bye.